Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the PEL promos for the 2020 season, or Phase 1 of 2020. I don't really know how to refer to that, really. Nobody's really told me.
I'm sure we'll get a guidebook.
Yeah,
don't worry. We'll be told soon enough.
But for next season, we're going to see which 4 teams are going to join the 12 that are already there. FaZe Clan, the champions, etc. Who's going to be battling them next season? That's what we're going to find out. At the moment, it's been a great start for the new boys. Tempus coming in, ELGIGANTEN both picking up 22-point wins.
Yeah.
Some of the teams that have gone down there, Envy, they got, well, 3rd place, I think, in that last game. So they're getting the placement points, but still not a lot of kills from them.
Yep.
DA, 4th consistency,
It's not
2
bad.
games running.
Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. That's what I was kind of hoping to see, is a little bit of consistency from some of the teams that we see here week in, week out, but that's been far from the case. But that was Miramar, and I want to kind of put that in a bubble as to what it was, because we know that some teams do have such bigger strengths on Erangel or Sanhok. I mean, you only have to look at N47, for example, was one of the teams that was a highlight on Sanhok for us. And I wonder what we see now coming into this.
And that's a potential. I'm glad you mentioned that, because we were talking about it before we started the show, that ENCE have moved into that compound that N47 have been using. So now, obviously, ENCE were always being blocked out. They always had to start swinging really wide out the western side, or struggling with their rotations. We'll see whether it gives them an advantage now that they've taken that quarry position, or so the east side of quarry. We don't really know where everyone's going to be dropping. This is obviously Wild West territory. They've had limited scrims, I would say, coming into this one. They had a couple of scrims yesterday. Practices is what I'm talking about, scrims. When they all play together, everybody's trying to figure their positions out. But there's 3 maps to play through. Obviously, Erangel to come after this as well. So, you know, we might start seeing a little bit of jostling in this one.
Yeah, and I think this is where you're going to see those individual players. I've got to say, for contender teams, when you look at them, in my eyes at least, I see so much kind of power potential. Some of these individuals are just scary to watch. Sometimes they do lack the kind of coordination and chemistry you have, like some of the PEL teams you have, you know, excuse me, week in and week out, been grinding. You know, they work out every aspect. But some of these players in contenders have so much individual ability that something like Sanhok could really complement that and kind of push them a little further forward. ENCE need a big performance here. I'm glad we just saw them for a second. This has been very disappointing thus far. GamerLegion, of course, could be doing with it themselves, but we know Sanhok can be a real treacherous beast to them if they're continuing to drop out in the northwest, for example. And we had constant eastern circles throughout PEL. So I'm wondering what circles we get here, who it's going to complement. DA, I'd like to see one of their explosive games as well. I've seen their placement games. We know they work. They're good at them.
They don't need to run away from G2 this time.
No.
Or reposition from G2. So they're happy with the compound. Although, actually, I felt they came out generally better off in those matches. Of course, a big part of this is where the hell the circle goes. There is 3... I could say 4 main areas that the circle will fall in. Obviously, the 2 islands, be it the northwest or the southwest, or on the main eastern island, will it go north or south down towards the quarry, or north towards the... well, actually, Jesus, we went completely on the beachhead, didn't we, on the final match, the final Sanhok game. It was a bonkers game where Razor Edge were just shooting anything to get a point. We'll see where it goes. Obviously, it can be a big chance for some of these teams to gain a lot of points. As you mentioned, alluded to at the start, you know, teams like N47 found themselves in a bit of a niche for Sanhok, picking up multiple 10+ kills several times. How have we got any of those teams that are able to do it from the contenders side? We will find out. And then, of course, we'll be moving on to Erangel, which will be...
I love a bit of Erangel. That's going to make me happy.
You see, this is the thing, right?
Oh, no, what are you going to say?
They've all been playing online. Contenders.
True.
They've been playing an Erangel 2.0, or whatever you want to call it. Not classic Erangel, which we're going to be playing on. So there will be changes. I believe. I may be wrong. I believe. I'm not too sure what the event server's on. No, I know one of them was definitely playing it. I will double check that.
Yeah, we'll double check, because that would be really interesting if that would be the case. Again, you guys at home, please use the hashtag I'm lonely and bored. And yes, I do look at Twitch chat, but we can do this formally.
You're lonely. You sat in the same room with me. What are you trying to say?
Look,
what are you trying to say? Hey?
The company is lacking.
Oh,
what you want? All right, what you want? Use the hashtag AskPEL. Let us know your thoughts, your questions.
Hashtag need a ginger.
I miss Richard. I'd even take the knockoff James if I have to. You know what I mean? It's just a northern ginger. Bring me one of those. It'd be great.
A northern ginger.
Yeah, it has to be from the north.
I mean, he's kind of my brother. I don't know, I could count him as a ginger. He's semi-ginger.
Ish. But yeah, guys, again, do make sure you let us know your thoughts coming into this. Who's impressed you so far? Has someone not quite been doing as you'd expect? It is only 2 games in, though, and we have, what, 18 still to go. I can
Long
do
way.
maths, so it's fine if you don't want to talk to me yet, but eventually I'll, again, just be sad.
If we see another 13th, 14th place for GL, I think might start getting worried.
Yeah, again, if they don't get circle placement, you gotta just then go into like frag out mode, right? And I want to see them just get some points going. It's almost game time here. First time we get to see these teams clashing on Sanhok. It's gonna be a good one, I'm sure. I can't wait to see where the positions are, if there's any hot drops, anyone a little bit too close, any clashes at the start. As that plane does look damn good, our eyes will turn towards the map and see where these teams will be heading, any adjustments, any changes. Anyone getting a little too close for comfort. It might be recovery time for some of these teams who've not had the best of starts.
No, this is going to be a bit of an eye-opener for you, me, and everyone involved watching this one to figure out where they're all going to go. Are we going to see some clashes down at the ruins, down south? I can see last crew going for the edges. Looks like Tempo Storm, I was about to say. Not quite involved in the qualifications. They're going to be in the North American leagues. I believe, but
if they
Tornado
were in
Energy.
Europe, they might be in.
Oh! If they were in Europe, they'd be in the relegation battle.
I'm kidding.
I kid.
I love you, North America. Ish.
You got to say that. You're going there soon.
Nah, I wouldn't. I'm not going on holiday anytime soon. What do you mean?
Okay, so Inoctive's just sort of scouting out Inside Gaming in Paradise Resort. So it's going to be the northern side for them. So Giganten, so GamerLegion do go standard spot. ENCE, as we mentioned, they've gone a little bit further north. And Tempus actually ended up kind of taking the old ENCE spot. So it's a bit of back and forth, bit of spread. We'll see where the circle... Oh, my word. Well... Okay, so we've been in the cave, nearly, at one point, and the sort of quarry. I still expect it to pull quarry side, but that is, with the Tempus logo, it's pretty much the center right now, right on the coastline.
This is a really far east circle. We see it often around quarry. That's why it's such a contended spot. It's such a really, a strong area. We normally see it north of that. Kind of barn, right?
The irony that that's ENCE's old loot spot.
Oh, Christ, it is.
Love it.
Oh, no. ENCE forever unlucky. Feels ENCE, man. Yeah, no, this creates some really fun things because you look at the availability of rotations when it slaps right in the middle of the island, which we often see. Cool.
Chicken.
Where is that on the map? You didn't even give us context. Oh, is it in Fresh Market? Oh, there we go. Wonder what produce meant.
Fresh chicken produce.
Just produce, just general produce.
Chicken produce, that's what it's called.
I don't want chicken produce, that sounds terrible.
It just means various meats of
well, that's
the
what
chicken
I mean.
And the eggs and everything that goes with it. All of the chicken gets used.
My game looks so much like dirt that I've never actually noticed any of these signs actually
you play it in, I mean, like every other pro, they always play it in low, very low everything.
Just like smeared dirt settings. If that could actually be the option, it'd be great. I've never read the signs. Whenever I look around, I'm like,
the question is, right. All these games, all these settings to do.
Yeah.
Who keeps motion blur on? Like,
you know,
why on earth make it a setting?
Why is it by default?
Because it's just for crap video cards. Obviously, if you're a discerning gamer, like you and me, you have your 2080 Ti GTX, hashtag NVIDIA.
Well, only Richard gets those.
Excuse me. I recall you got sent one.
Not the TI, all right?
No, you didn't.
Not the TI.
Oh, you got
I
lowballed.
got downgraded, all right?
You got lowballed. But if you're like me, your poverty caster.
Wow, okay.
You have to go and bite yourself.
Right. So does that mean you keep motion blur on, you love a bit of VSync, you've got anti-aliasing full?
Actually, I do tend to put anti-aliasing full.
Of course you do.
But,
of course you do.
I know, right? But I definitely don't have my motion blur on. I don't understand that setting at all.
No, it's absolutely vile. I've never understood it. It's like,
would you like to vomit every time you turn turn the screen?
To be fair, it's the same with like when you get the head bob whenever you run. It's like, who leaves that on?
Who leaves head bob on? Whoever puts that? I want the authentic. You know what it is? Oh no, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Pansy uses onboard graphics. Yeah, dude.
Onboard.
To be fair, I remember.
Intel.
When I first when I got my first graphics card ever, I mean, this is back like literally when I was like 15. I didn't really understand what it did or how it worked, so I'm pretty sure I kept using the onboard graphics after I did.
Oh, you didn't realize?
No.
Oh.
I was not smart.
But I mean, yeah.
Hold on.
PCs when you were young.
I mean, it didn't make much of a difference, let's be honest. It was still like 3 FPS. We do have the engage happening. ELGIGANTEN was caught a little bit with his pants down there. He looked completely enamored by Morpheus and then just gets snuck up on by the rest of ELGIGANTEN.
Yeah, and that's... So 7 ordinarily try and set up a bridge camp here. I think they've just been completely caught off guard by the fact that ELGIGANTEN did the same to them. And they were not expecting that at all, because they've done that for 20 games in Phase 3, trying to get that little bridge camp set up, and it's kind of worked for them, but this time it didn't. Backfired horribly. GamerLegion escaped out the south. You can see them down boot camp. Everybody else has kind of positioned themselves relatively safely. ENCE chose to stick around there. They are getting PG-18 getting very close to them, themselves and DA. They're kind of wedged on this hillside between them. Tempest have a really nice spread, actually. And everybody's expecting it to pull away from the coastline. It will do on Phase 3. But here we go. ENCE getting pushed on my quarry.
Did TRYFFELI just not see him down by the quarry then? Am I going mad? I thought he was well within vision then. I might have just misseen that. Maybe there was a bit of a wall in the way. X-ray can be deceiving, but I really thought he might have spotted him then. Beyond the point, someone who has spotted him is Airstation Mike. That's from the other side. Now, somehow he's managed to live, and that's beyond my capabilities of comprehension, is how he's alive down there with 2 teams able to spot him out. He's found a bit of cover, 1 slice of respite. I'm
disappointed with Fake's name, because I obviously, when you look at it, you think, I know what that is. That's the Irish. Fake. But it's not. It's fake.
There we go. Finally caught out, and the flush should be... Yeah, Airstation might get that. That's fine. I'm surprised that ENCE didn't capitalize on it. I thought they might have had slightly better vision towards that than them, but again, PG-18, I think they're kind of, again, trying to find their footing here. They're a team that a lot of people are looking at to do quite well coming into this, and we haven't seen them be the headliners just yet, but this doesn't look like the game to do it either.
There's a big clash down the south as well. Train Hard trying to push in. Northern Lights were keeping them at bay, but ENCE is definitely the position, and you can kind of see why N47 do so well from that compound, right? ENCE are doing exactly the same. It is a strong position. The Boom was completely caught out with his pants down there, trying to go up the hill. Nobody wants that. You can't run when your pants are down.
It does make it trickier. I don't make a habit of it, however. Unity, again, early fights. They do seem to be getting into a lot of these. I'm looking at knockiTiff to stay alive this time. He has been caught out several times on his own. It's a little bit frustrating to see that happening. And again, middle of the open, gets picked up. No. And I don't see the flush yet, but it's coming.
There we go. So he's played probably, I would say, a total of maybe 20 minutes game time, I would say, in Octave by now.
Problem
in 3 games.
You just sit there. Like, you can't tab out and do other stuff. You literally just sit there
and
stare at the screen.
You can do the aim trainer if you really want to. But that's the last thing you want to do. You're just aggression right now.
Yeah.
Some emotion shots there, friends.
But now looking at this, it has continued to kind of hold the eastern coast at this point. We still have a lot of water within this circle.
And Phase 3 will pull from water. So Tempest right now, and actually Jokers who've just got in position, are in a brilliant spot.
Oh, that's a shot. Love that. Right off the back of the bike. That is lovely for Train Hard. They'll be happy with that one. Not sure they're going to get another, though. Northern Lights seem a little bit more aware this time. Like, well, we'll skirt that a little bit further. And actually, Northern Lights now are in a relatively good position that they've made it to that spot.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's going to pull away from water. There's a big territory, north, south, you know, everything. It's going to pull to the west, but there is a large portion of land where it could go. You know, Inside Gaming way up in the north.
No, your delivery's here. Oh, no. It's all gone a bit wrong. ToWzErA's probably going to get traded on here. You've got to imagine. Mitraleius, how are you alive? What is that shot from ToWzErA? Getting away with murder, banging out that headshot at the perfect time. SIXMO could not bail him out. A beautiful death. And SIXMO trying to do work, but they're being destroyed.
Oh, no. DA, this has not gone well for you. Airstation Mike boys doing some work, and they're gone. 16th place for DA. Compound life is not working. That little scooter didn't pay off for them. Pizza delivery man. Yeah. Oh my god, that was four in a car there. I just saw. Was that ELGIGANTEN? Last crew got 3 in the vehicle as well.
It's a little rough out here. We are seeing 7 still above Paradise Resort. Just to keep you up to date, we do see ELGIGANTEN making their way in, or trying to, just north of Camp Bravo currently. Probably about a long way ahead of 7. So they've timed it well on their disengagement from that. And still trying to work out how they want to approach this now. They're going to be on the outskirts on the other side. But again, with the circle movement, you'll imagine that edge is going to be in, just purely because it will move away from water. And now we see a lack of cover for one of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, they just pulled in the car, right? 3 in the vehicle. They thought they found themselves a little scouting spot, but instead, it is a turkey shoot. Moon down by Tempest there. You just saw that was in central sort of area, and they're actually going to catch their player in the cross as well. Set's just gone across in the vehicle to try and revive him. That vehicle's lost its tyre. There's Moon down. He is going to get revived by Set, so that's no problem. I'm glad the Joker's back in the lobby. We get to watch them every single time.
I wonder if anyone's going to be peeking those windows. They really can't afford it right now until that revives in. ELGIGANTEN still working their way in through Camp Bravo. Maybe looking for a little bit more loot as well themselves. There's an early bridge camp for them, so I'm curious how much they've got at this point. It looks fairly well set, but...
7 are going to come in and just be like,
oh, Christ, that
what the hell? Oh, yeah. 7 are going to come in from the north thinking, oh, we're well out. Phase 3, there's no one up this north. We're just going to cruise in. And ELGIGANTEN are just going to be sat there waiting for them because they're both just around the edge of Camp Bravo right now. Quick revive for Tempest. Where's he going to go? It's going to pull to the west. We know that. Will it be north or south?
A lot of them banking on it, going right towards Quarry. And
yep.
There it is. So good play from all the teams who stayed on that western side. They knew that mathematically the circle would have to at least almost hit the edge of the blue as it was. So it's just a really good little bit of thought coming through from them. But we do see a lot of these teams now starting to gatekeep. We have Trainhard constantly putting pressure down. There's not many ways out of this anymore. And I think having the man on the screen is well aware of that. The smoke can only keep him safe for so long. And there it goes. This is going to be a bit of a brutal one.
Yeah, no angles for him there at all. And Melman steals it towards the end there. So just a point gain for Tornado Energy there. Now the question is, where do you go from here? Inside Gaming coming down from the north side. 7 actually may have just kind of leapfrogged ELGIGANTEN. They're kind of almost running parallel with each other, the other side of this rock. MOORPHEUS has caught a glimpse of one, but the rest of the team are a little bit too far away. He might catch Buster unawares as he's passing on by, and that's going to split 7 completely up. You instantly see Krabic turn around thinking, what the hell? I just ran straight through. They're thinking it's safe. They're thinking it's scouted it, but it's not. And ELGIGANTEN are swarming.
Yeah, they're going to try and clear out this rock as well. Maybe not aware the Crab's there, but there could be someone. Quick little upgrade of the loot. Clearly lacking some utility, it looks like. Nice little pickup as well. Krabic doesn't get away with much more either. As 7, they thought they escaped the bridge pressure to only find them further on. And, well, ELGIGANTEN completely annihilate old 7 Esports.
Following on from where they left off.
Yep.
Big win between the two teams. Obviously, 7 went out in second place. ELGIGANTEN took them down, so once again flushing them. But the question is, can they come down? And the Inside Gaming on your screens here is where ELGIGANTEN are going to end up. There's no doubt about it. This is the only compound they can run to.
I would say they don't have much view towards the east, so if you flip this camera around and look to the eastern side, it's a little bit hard to see. That's why Unity are the ones shooting. IG don't have the best line of sight on them, so they might be able to get away with it unless Unity are the ones delivering, which they are. Orange has already found one of them, so their entry point is going to get trickier.
Yeah, so it's going to force them to the other side of the hill, straight into IG. There's really no other way around it. There's no way out. So it's going to be a tough one for them. You can see ghostar is going to get the revive off, but now they're coming in the vehicles. It's going to kind of give the game away, and IG will be looking north. Don't forget, obviously, you know, the fact is the blue moves very fast from phase 2 onwards, and that's what we're seeing here. It's going to encompass through them, and that revive, I think he may have just given up on him there.
Oh, it looked like he already dropped his loot. I saw 5-5 on the floor. I saw a smoke being picked up, so I feel like maybe he might be left. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Timing could have been a bit better there. Does get the revive off. I don't know if he's going to be able to survive this too easily if Unity is still holding that angle. I don't know if they've fallen away from this because they haven't got pressure from anywhere else. They're pretty much free on the eastern side, so they can be pretty safe here. Currently looking at the positions, though, it's a heavy west focus from these teams. Pretty much 4, 5, maybe even 6 teams here sat very much on that western coast.
KnorkiS coming in. He's going to get right up on Stravoli. He gets Pixel already down, and he sees the second as well. He realizes there's another just around the side of straight. Oh, it doesn't work out for him. Oh my word, that is such a balls up by Inside Gaming. Wow. Okay, Tempest loving life. ENCE not, because that's their loot swap. That's where they drop in Phase 3 all the time, and it goes to the compound where Tempest are sitting. It's kind of a kick in the teeth for them, really. I don't know where anyone's going to go that's not in the circle now. This is too crowded for them.
Yeah, I still have to point out that ELGIGANTEN played that so well, like so cautious on that little peek around. It was like a shoulder peek. You kind of start to step out, and then there was instantly someone ready to trade back in. That was so well handled. I've got to appreciate that while it's there. Again, this just speaks volumes to the caliber of players that we see, even in contenders. But we see PG18 now looking towards the north. You have the Jokers up there. This is where ELGIGANTEN might suffer their final fight as we watch Last Crew's Last Man about to go down in the blue if he's not careful.
Not too sure on the angle that GamerLegion have on ENCE on that west side. I've got a feeling ENCE have left it too late to move from that compound. Are kind of going to get caught by the angles. Last Crew we're watching here, Jappy, really nowhere else for him to go. Tornado NG are kind of looking this way as well, expecting the Last Man. I'm not too sure he's going to just about make it outside. Has no meds left, no bandages, no nothing. So he's kind of in a dead man walking. ELGIGANTEN still with 4 alive. Where can they go?
Yeah, this is the scenario we saw unraveling in the northern side. PG18 went for a northeastern swing. They moved further away from ENCE and headed slightly towards Polar North, just to the northwest of the Jokers. ELGIGANTEN tried to move further south, but now they've had to swing way further east to try and get away from all of that pressure. But Unity are not far either. And
Unity about to get gifted a present. Northern Lights coming straight towards them. And that's going to be, well, 2 players down in the swamp at the moment, so not really going to work out for them. Here's Train Harder getting caught out. Tornado Energy trying to benefit as much as they can from it. Melman did get taken down. There goes the Wanderer, so ENCE have moved out of their compound and it's swung up to the northern side. So I was wondering whether they're going to collapse in on GamerLegion. GamerLegion, you can see bjorN is just keeping them at bay. Nookie, nice shot found there. Will manage to get the man down. And Tornado Energy, who I thought were in a much better position, have just fell.
Yeah, I think Quick Maths had really good vision as they pushed out their compound. Yeah, here we go. So now, but there's the punish on towards Quick Maths. You have Airstation Mike getting vision on their push out, so punishing 1. They didn't get the flush on it, however. But we do see Jep finally going down, but that was inevitable. That felt like whoever just saw him first, he had no meds, as you said, just kind of taking his time on that one. And, well, Train... I don't know how they're still alive here, if I'm honest.
So on the eastern side, we have ELGIGANTEN, Northern Light is going to go in a second, and Unity. On the western side, Airstation Mike, GamerLegion, and ENCE. They're all sort of gathering around this Airstation Mike compound. You can see Hamster and bjorN up on the top. ENCE realized, I mean, they had to realize there was somebody there, surely.
I don't know. The way they were running it, that was so in the open, but you can't ignore Tempest here. You've said it time and time again. That position is big. They're holding the north. It's the king of their castle. The Jokers still further northeast. They've kind of wrapped around the back of ELGIGANTEN, who are now in between a rock and a hard place. They had very few options, so for now it might be time just to try and get a couple of kills and just play to the circle. They have 1 man in. They've lost out on ghostar, so it is just down to 1 for him just to try and play this out for circle position and maybe just positioning general.
Well, he's inside, so he's safe for now. So let's go back over to the west. ENCE trying to make the push. Airstation Mike getting surrounded. And you can see instantly caught Rustanmar out.
Now's the time for GamerLegion.
Will they make the move down the hillside? They've got the 2-2 split at the moment. Nades were being cooked out there. It's going to catch out. That's SKUIJKE getting the 1. It's almost a back away, though, for ENCE. They're continuing around the northern side. They don't want to get involved in this battle and push down on them. Jazza just tossed a nade out. Was that to GamerLegion? I didn't see where he threw it.
I'm not too sure. GamerLegion now getting a lot of attention from Airstation Mike, who've turned back around because ENCE slightly disengaged. It's a bit of a knife-edge scenario here. And this is out on the east. This is the southern side of it all as the swing comes in from these teams trying to find some ground, which is all on this side. You have that main road right in the middle. bjorN needs to be careful here.
Trying to get that M24 to walk, but 2 bolt actions actually for GL. You don't see that often on Sanhok. Orange has been caught out, but it's instant reacted now. Tempest will catch ENCE off guard. That's miikaz flushed instantly. They got nowhere. They're up on the hillside. If they go down one side, Airstation Mike are there. They go the other. Tempest are there. They're kind of in a horrible position. The circle, well, it favors all the teams inside the compounds. And anybody outside is kind of screwed right now. Unity being one of them. Them and Train Hard, Phantom last man standing. They have got 7 kills out of it, so it's not the end of the day for them. 8-point game for Train Harder. And they're going to go down. Unity they're going to get Snoopy back on his feet. No, Quizzy's last man
Airstation miikaz pushing ENCE. They've decided they've gone for the sweep. They want to get this done. Maybe knowing they've knocked a couple, put them on the back foot here. You've got Jazza pushing up on this. Yes, GamerLegion can put down some fire, but Hugstar, they're already right up in their face. Good nade range, but I think hearing those Kar 98 shots, hearing that pressure from GamerLegion has kept them humble, but that nade has done so much. This could be an issue for Airstation Mike now.
Going? Hamster looks like he's pushing in. He wants to get a piece of this. They're trying to see if they've got any angles. There's a second nade. That's going to catch Hugstar. He's gone. And they realize it. They're going to have to back away from that one. So ENCE will get the one out of it. And now we might see GamerLegion trying to pay dividends on this one. At the moment, it is ENCE that will fall once again, though. Giganten go down. That's out on the eastern side. Tempus, they've also got proactive on this one. Trying to push their positions. They're kind of squashed into the one building at the moment.
Yeah, Tempest are pushing out, though. Wookie's keeping a vehicle, so even if they get pushed out of this, I think they can maybe set up some cover, quickly put one player into a more forward position. I'm wondering what Quick Math do here. Quizzy's going to try and just sneak his way up very quietly in the southeastern side here, very close to Quick Maths. bjorN needs to land a banger here to help him out. And then maybe he could afford some clothes. Back to the PEL, the good land. And Fexx holding as much of an angle as he can.
I know he's waiting for his Robe of the Archmage drop, but it isn't coming in this game, bjorN. You need to wear something. He's got no vest, does he, either? No,
doesn't look like
he's
it.
Naked.
Yeah, he's got absolutely sweet F-all. Problem now becomes for the likes of Airstation Mike and SKUIJKE that actually they don't have a good step to the circle. And being that there's, what, 3 of them between each other, that could be a big pickup here for GamerLegion if they can lock them down. On the other side, Tempus could just mow those points up.
What sort of vision do Quick Math have? They have a window. Is it 2 windows or 1?
I think it's 2 in that.
It's 2 straight towards GL. Yeah, you can see they're engaging now. It is dangerous to peek those windows, though, when it's at this stage. And even Airstation Mike are getting lit up as well. Tempus have completely took position around the circle.
Oh, bjorN, what a piece of work from him.
Monster nade. That just finished them.
That's it. That's exactly what you want now. Tempus have pushed out and they managed to find SKUIJKE. So that is going to be the cleanup here. GamerLegion is game on. You have Tempus just to the north of you. Quick Maths didn't move out in time. So they're not getting pinned into this. If GamerLegion can keep safety from Tempus, they can clean them out here.
Hamster's going to toss a nade straight through that window onto Digger. Digger, though, got Fexx and bjorN down at the same time. He's hit the roof. Oh, no. Hamster's gone down as well. There's just one man standing for GL. That has just fell apart in a split second. Maccandark caught from behind. He's gone. And that is GamerLegion out of there in 3rd place. Oh, my word.
If there was any time to land the nade, it was then. Now, Quick Maths, it's back to the blue. They've got nothing to run with. This is Tempest again. These guys, 8 kills this time.
It's another 10-kill game.
Massive for them. Not only their 2nd win, but a huge amount of kills to boot.
Another 20 points for Tempus. That is great. And you saw Wookie's like 20? Ah, yes, loving it. They just tot up the scores and figure out exactly what they've got. Tempus find themselves on the board once again. They gave a great interview in the first game, so I'm really happy to hear what they have to say. Yes, they had the compound. That is how it works sometimes. And ENCE, oh my word, boys. That was your drop point. That was where you lived for 20 matches in Phase 3. But Tempus took it.
Down here with Tempus once again. Gents, what is going on? What did you eat for breakfast this morning? That's what I want to know.
Nothing. We sleep.
You just slept?
12 hours a day.
12 hours sleep, and that's the key to success.
Yeah, of course.
Amazing. Three games in, 3 matches in, 2 wins. How? Explain why this is working so well for you.
I mean, we got a very good zone. We've actually never scrimmed a zone like this before. We were like almost dead center from the beginning, and it was very far out, had a lot of water in it. So we knew we had a lot of space and a lot of control. So we just played in our compound and waited for the circle to close in, and yeah, we won from there.
Could it get any better in the first 3 games? Could you? I mean, okay, you could have won the second one as well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the second game we kind of made a few mistakes, but yeah, the second game could also have been a very good game, but yeah, 2 wins out of 3, that's fine by me.
Wookie's happy, Tempus are happy. 2 wins out of 3. As they say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
We're watching Red Eye as he moves away from Tempus Esports there. 2 chicken dinners. Their bellies are full. They didn't need to eat breakfast. impressive play from them. What I thought was quite clever is right at the end, their last fight, they were stuck in that compound. They knew they had to make a push. They knew the moment they came out, they were going to be in trouble. So they waited till they heard the gunfire, knew then that the teams were a bit busy, made that push. Really just smart, calculated play from them.
I mean, it comes down to experience, to actually knowing exactly when to move and when you have the right information and what to move on and where to go. And we saw that. Tempest, they would take a lot of control, as you're saying. When they heard the gunfight start, they knew straight away, this is the moment we need to move, or we won't win the game.
And honestly, as well, we saw hard Eastern's first circle. They are looting on the very most Eastern side. So obviously, they should have a slight advantage to this. I was surprised because ENCE actually had a really good position to start off with as well. As is Mike as well, but they had some other compounds and decided to go further west than I anticipated, compared to how east the first circle actually was. But then it settled in, and Tempest, they're on fire. This start for them, this is the snowball effect that I'm talking about. They are not going to be able to stop after this, because when we have this lead this far ahead of like everyone else, you're just going to keep pushing. You're going to have no fear. You're just going to be pushing in.
You're just going to be playing with the other teams right now. And I mean, we saw, as you're saying, the first 2 circles, 50% water or more even. And what that means is we're basically just pushing into Circle 5 already. And Circle 3, we have the land ratio, which will remove the water. And a lot of the teams, they knew, all of the teams know that, of course. But so they took position where they thought like this is a good position to play from Circle 3 and onwards. And I mean, Tempest, they held it down as well, super good. Knowing exactly this is where we need to hold at this circle, this is where people will come from, and so on.
There's no scrappiness from them. There's no chaos, which you see with some of the other contenders teams. They have a plan, and that plan is to get into the PEL, I think. You mentioned the snowball effect. Let's chat about ENCE. Not so much a snowball, but slowly just, I mean, a little bit like one of those tumbleweeds. It's getting better.
It's getting better, and they're making the right decisions. Like when we saw that, we were talking about it for us when the game was happening. They're making the right decisions. We saw the first map, their rotations, their scouting, everything is actually on point. It just comes down to like one decision in the very late game, very mid game, that they could have done a little bit different, and that would be the difference of either 5 points or 15 points. And if they continue this, I see no trouble for them to stay in PEL.
It's also a big disadvantage for teams like ENCE and DA. They've been playing in PEL for phase 1, 2, and 3. Basically, you know all those teams. It's much harder for you to adapt to these teams now because they're doing stuff that you're not used to. You're used to your rotations, you know all the teams around you. But coming in here with the new teams, it's hard. You can't really predict what they're going to do.
During phase 3 of PEL, I chatted to Desperado and I asked them what the difference is between contenders and PEL, and they said it's chaos in contenders because you're never quite sure what's going to get thrown at you. The teams are, I wouldn't say disorganized, but they're a little bit more open to just trying something random. Is that difficult to adjust to when you've been playing in PEL for as long as, say, Seven and DA have been doing?
Obviously, it is. And that's why I'm saying like it's extremely important for the PEL teams to scout and be aware. But what the PEL teams are, they're going to have a lot of map awareness. What the contender teams are going to come in with, they're going to have a lot of awareness of how the other teams are playing, what they usually play, where they would expect them to do, like what they expect them to do. But as I said in our pre-show here as well, is the meta is going to change. Like when the further we get in, the more random, like the more unforeseeable stuff is going to happen. Some teams are going to like stop to get points. They're going to maybe do an edge camp where you wouldn't expect it. We saw this with ELGIGANTEN. They're camping outside the zone to try to get some of the points up on the northern side on 7, I believe it was. And that's some of the kind of random stuff that's going to happen more and more the further we get into the promotion here.
I mean, the thing is that, sure, first they were saying that you're going to need to adapt to the teams. You don't know what they're going to be doing. They're going to go home. They're going to adapt to the teams for tomorrow as well. And with that also comes the fact that the teams are not going to do the same thing as they're doing today, maybe. So you don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow either.
3 matches in, which are the contenders teams, other than Tempest, who's 2 chicken dinners, goes without saying, what are the other contenders teams that have stood out for you that you think, hey, we should be watching these guys?
To be fair, obviously we gotta get some credit to ELGIGANTEN as well. There are some really good tendencies. We saw them actually fight their way back into Sanhok here, considering how far they were out. So there's some good tendencies as well. I want to see more from PG18. I'm missing the kind of fierce play style they had in the Contenders Finals. I want to see more of that. So that's what I'm looking forward to, especially on a Wrangle here.
What do you think is happening with PG18 though? Because I earmark them as the team to watch from Contenders, and they've just got shut down
Yeah.
every turn. Is it just an unlucky situation, or do you think maybe the nerves of this is getting to them?
They've had some pretty rough circles as well to them. On Miramar, we had some very center-heavy circles where they were forced to go edge. Some of the decisions they did mid-game, especially on our first game, was kind of surprising to me. I was expecting them to be more aggressive. I want to see their aggression. Now, that is what makes them so good, because they're amazing players. But I don't want to give them too much of a hard time until we get to Wrangle, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. We got to see them more aggressive. They need to get those kills going. Right now, with the passiveness, it's not working against these teams, so you got to change something up. On the other hand, Tempest Storm. 10 points, 10 kills, 20 in total. That's pretty nice to see. Already after 3 games, 2 wins. I mean, it's kind of surprising, I'd say.
They're going to be in 44 points after this, after just 3 games. They might have a record-breaking day here after this. Look at this. A big lead. Our mid-pack is kind of slowly solidifying themselves. Unity is like quietly doing very good. They're just outside the pack. They're doing consistently good in all 3 games. As I said, I want to see more. We do have 2 more Wrangle games here before everything kind of starts evening out a little bit. Yes, we do have PG18, one of our best teams from the finals. They're on 4 points. I want to see that. I want to see them pop off in these 2 next Wrangle games.
I want to see more from ELGIGANTEN, actually. They quite surprised me a lot here. How they're playing the game, how they're holding people out. As we mentioned, they were up in the north, they're holding 7 out, but they also knew that, all right, we need to rotate. We can't do this anymore. They started rotating towards the northeast side, and there, they once again camped 7 because they knew that 7 would come in from there. That would be the logical move. And knowing that, and also how they were like peeking against inside there on the tractor, the double peek, taking out the last guy, just amazing stuff from them.
Yeah.
Tempest sitting on the top fast to get there very fast, like the refresh rates of the Samsung monitors that all our teams here for Promo Week are going to be playing on. They've had a chance to practice with them. They're now playing with them in the arena, and we see them during PEL as well. 3 games that we've seen so far today, and the one thing that I have noticed is a slow change of pace. I know that the maps have changed, but it almost seems like we started with quite a frenzied pace, slowing down. Do you think everyone's starting to get a feel for one another now?
For me, like the first match we saw, where we saw the very, very center-heavy strat and center-heavy meta, I think everybody looked at that and like, okay, if 13, 14 teams or more than 12 basically is doing a center-heavy strat, then it's actually more beneficial to start doing the opposite. Start playing edge, because you're going to have so much more space in between, and you're going to have a lot more space to do some really clever rotations if the circle starts to ping-pong a little bit.
Also, being aggressive in the start also shows the dominance to the other teams. Hey, we're here. You shouldn't be here. This is our spot from now on. And that's a big thing. And that's why we see the teams going super aggressive in the start. They might slow down a little bit, but I think they will bring it back up now because we're going into Erangel, which we haven't played yet.
We haven't played it yet. We're about to see what will go down. This is all about learning about the various teams that are here. And one of them you probably know already, Phase 1 winners, ENCE. Their story is great because this really showcases the PUBG path to pro. Phase 1 winners. The competition level has risen. They are now fighting for their life to secure a spot in PEL 2020. Let's find out a little bit more about them.